everyone, welcome back to my channel, and in today's video we will be talking all about our spring TBR. All of a sudden last week the weather turned from it being super cold in the minus and now we're in the double digit, which I am so excited. I love winter. I think winter is one of my favorite season of all time, but I do really want the day to be just longer, and I don't know, I don't get so tired by around 5 p.m. because it's already so dark outside. So I'm excited. I am not excited about summer though because it is summer. But I'm getting married this summer, so I'm excited for this summer anyway. Either way, I am here to talk about my spring TBR. I feel like all of these books, they're not necessarily spring themed. Some of them sure, but mainly it's just books that I've been wanting to pick up. I have been trying to match my books to my season less and less because although it is good and atmospheric to do that, sometimes I do want to pick up some books that are outside of the season, but it's just me being a little bit more annoying with how I want to read books. I like to match them because it just hits different, but it doesn't always have to be like that, so I'm trying to change it. So yeah, I have here around 8 books. This is excluding all the new releases that's gonna come out. I'm gonna pop up on the screen all the new releases that I'm really excited to get to. But I am super excited to read all the new releases. But what I'm gonna show you today is the 8 books that I have physically that I would love to read in between March to May, end of May. And yeah, so let's just go ahead and get into the TBR. The first book I have is Andy Weir's Project Hail Mary. I have heard so many good things about this book. I know a lot of people who does not even read sci-fi love this sci-fi book. Obviously, me trying to get into sci-fi more is very intrigued with this one. I do not have a lot of experience in reading sci-fi. I read Red Rising. I find it okay. It's not like mind-blowing like everyone said it would be. But maybe because I haven't continued the second and the third, although it is quite good, like Red Rising, if I continue to the second book right now, I would not remember a single thing because it's sci-fi. You see a lot of characters die. I might have to reread Red Rising to continue the series, but either way, we're talking about Project Hail Mary. I also just filmed my March TBR and I put this book there, so hopefully I get to read this one very soon. Moving on to the next one is also a book that I put in my March TBR, so I'm not gonna talk too much about it, but it is Ready or Not by Cara Bastone. I have been trying to get back into reading more contemporary romances because I feel like recently the contemporary romance that I've been reading, they're so meh. They put me in a slump, although sometimes I read contemporary romance to do like a palate cleanser kind of thing because they're fast-paced. You don't need to think too much while reading contemporary romance, but recently it just hasn't been hitting as hard, so I'm trying to dip my toe back into more well-known romance books because I really want to go back into reading some romances. Moving on to the next one is a book that I'm honestly super nervous to pick up. It is Crescent City, House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J Maas. I read House of Earth and Blood December, I think. Really enjoyed that book. But I'm nervous in how it's gonna continue. I think the slow burn aspect is still gonna continue and I'm gonna love that romance subplot. Although I think the fantasy plot itself is quite interesting. I don't know what else we could be really exploring because it didn't really get explained. I mean, although it got explained, but it's not explained thoroughly enough that I'm like intrigued, and it's not really like a cliffhanger of some sort. If House of Earth and Blood is like a standalone, I think I'd be happy reading about it. I'm not like really in dire need to pick up the second book, but obviously I want to try and finish the trilogy soonish. So I'm gonna be picking up House of Sky and Breath. All I know about this book is that people seem to be very meh about it. I'm nervous to pick it up because the thing is, the first book I was very adamant at picking it up because I thought, oh, it's urban fantasy. I'm not sure if I'm into urban fantasy, but ended up being really good and I love urban fantasy now. I even really enjoyed the first book. I think I rated it 5-star, if not 4.75. So a lot of people did not like Crescent City as much as like Sarah J Maas's other books. or other book series. So I am nervous, but after reading the first book and actually truly loving it, I am excited to pick this one up. The thing is, it's just the size of these books. They're so long. But yeah, I'm excited to pick this one up. Moving on to the next two books. They are a classic. I think they might be children classics. But let me show you the first one, which is Anne of Green Gables by L.M. Montgomery. I've heard so many people loving this series, and especially like the nature description that she puts into the books. I am so excited to pick this one up. I have finished recently Pride and Prejudice. I think I finished it end of February, and oh my gosh, it was actually so good, and I feel like I'm on top of the world that I finished a classic. Now obviously I'm being very obnoxious about it, and because I feel so accomplished in finishing a classic, I'm gonna pick up two classics. So yeah, we shall see how it goes. I really want to try and pick it up. So yeah, all I know about this series is that in all the books that we're gonna follow her, I don't know how many books in total. In total, there are 8 books in the series. And I think this is pretty much we're following Anne's life from whenever she was super young all the way to, I guess, later on in her life, like her later stages of her life. So I'm really excited to see what I think of the first one. And the next classic that I'll be picking up is Wind in the Willows by Kenneth Grahame. This is a very short classic, I think. And also I love the cover, and this is like a short classic if you guys can see. So I'm excited to pick this one up. Honestly, I just know this is a very famous children's classic. Other than that, I have honestly no idea what it's about, but I like going into books blind. So I'm just gonna keep it a mystery. For me, at least. You'll see it in the description anyway, so yeah. Moving to the next one is I'm starting a new series. I know I'm in the middle of so many series. I'm trying to finish it, but I'm also starting so many new ones. So it is a conundrum. But either way, I'm starting this series, which is Red Queen series by Victoria Aveyard. I sadly started the Powerless series first before reading Red Queen. I know it's heavily inspired by this book. I'm not gonna delve into any dramas when it comes to this book. I enjoyed Powerless, not so much the second, the third, the other novellas in between. Not really. I really enjoyed the first one because of the male main character, but I'm really intrigued in this one because people seem to love this one so much as well. So yeah, I think I read Powerless like 2-3 years ago, maybe 2 years ago. So I'm like confident enough that my reading of this book won't get influenced so heavily by Powerless, and I'm not comparing the two together. They're each their own work. I'm not gonna like compare them, obviously. But yeah, so I'm really excited to pick this one up. And I know one of my friends who read Powerless and read Red Queen. She enjoyed both, so I think it's pretty promising. What made Powerless and Red Queen so similar is that they have colors, I think. Red are commoners ruled by silver elite in possession of godlike superpowers, and to 17-year-old Mare, a red girl from poverty-stricken stilts, it seems like nothing will ever change. It is pretty similar. Okay, I'm just reading the back and I'm fully intrigued now. Okay, you'll see on the screen. It's a good one, I think, hopefully. Moving on to the next one. I purely picked this book because of the cover, because the cover is stunning and it's also very spring-esque. It is Heather Fawcett's Emily Wilde's Map of the Other Lands? Map of the Other Lands. Maybe now when I'm really looking at this, there are mushrooms. No, there are like, is it fall and not spring? Is this more spring? Well, either way, in order to read this, I need to read this anyway. So maybe both of them will be in the TBR, but obviously we're going to be focusing on this one first. Moving on to the last book in this TBR. I am so nervous in picking this one up because the thing is, I have really high expectation for this book because the other series that I've read by this author, I truly adore. It's probably in the 6-star read category, like the first book, the second book, not as much, but the first book, so good. We're reading Wild Reverence by Rebecca Ross. I read Divine Rivals and Ruthless Vows last year. I reread Divine Rivals last year and truly adored it. And even on the second read, I love it so much. But sadly, Ruthless Vows are not 5-star read, but I'm hoping that this would be a 5-star read. This is definitely in my 5-star read prediction, so I am quite nervous and what I will think of this. Also, the naked hardcover is gorgeous. And even like this cover is already pretty cute, right? And the back, like look at the sword, is beautiful. I'm not gonna read what it's about because I have not heard a lot of people talk about this, and it's good. It's good like that, so I have no like more added anticipation, expectation, judgment, whatever it is. I'm gonna go into it blind. I will try my hardest to go into it blind and not be so influenced by my judgment or by my expectation. So yeah, those are the books that I'll be reading this spring. I'm gonna show you the pile. Not gonna lie, this is quite excessive, but I'm pretty sure I could manage to read this one. Although, don't mind the third book of the Emily Wilde series because it's only a maybe, okay? But this will be our official TBR of spring. Before I end the video, like usual, we are gonna do a little bit of reading journal spread for our spring TBR. So let's go ahead and do a little bit of journaling, and then I will catch you back here. I really hope you guys enjoyed that journaling session as per usual. I really loved doing a seasonal TBR because although I make my like 6-book TBR each month, I do love that there's like an overarching one for the season as well, to just like collect all the books that seem very fitting to the season, although some of these are not really fitting for the season. Either way, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will catch you in my next one. Goodbye.